It is a very special day today as I have the pleasure of announcing the Quant Prime service. This is a service that has gone through multiple iterations now, and dare I say it's in its prime state. It's in its prime iteration as we have really dialed in the full functionality of this. And what essentially is it? It is a TradingView script, a proprietary script that allows you to automate your backtesting, getting results for the strategies that you have been mulling over in your head, within seconds, really, instead of having to do it by hand, which can take, hours or days in some cases as well, depending upon how crazy it gets. And of course, it will allow you to automate your trade execution too, meaning that you have a bot or an algorithm that is essentially like your little employee, your little friend who executes the trades on your own behalf, whether you're at your computer or not, meaning that you can go about your life, you can go to sleep, you can be on a plane, you could be in the bathroom, you could be eating, you could be also at your computer and just watching it work, but it will execute trades exactly as you desired, pertaining to this script. So that is the main thing with this. And now I'll kind of go into the details, into the weeds here with this promo page. And I want to just present this first image right here, because this is going to be like your main home page for this script. It's going to be able to spit out very detailed statistics in this overview, as well as performance summary, and just list all of your trades out as well. For whatever strategy that you are, kind of thinking over. And what's really helped me with this, because of course, this is a service that I use myself, just like all of the services that we have on this, on this school here on Teachable, but this is probably my most important one because it's changed my life the most, to be quite frank with you. And it allows me to, really quickly get an idea of whether a new strategy idea I had in my head is going to work or not, because a lot of the time when I was doing things by hand, I'd have this idea in my head and I'd be back testing like 50, 100 iterations prior, it there, and then I realized, okay, this strategy actually is not going to work, and it just kind of feels like waste time. It's technically not waste time because you figured out what didn't work, but not very fruitful, unfortunately. And with this, you get those results very, very quickly, typically within seconds, sometimes a little bit longer. If you're using the deep back tester and you're going over, decades worth of history, you can certainly run that up to maybe 15, 20 seconds in some cases as well. But that is the big value here. And even then, when I have a strategy now, I'm trying to optimize it, and I want to say, and I want to see, okay, what if this strategy trades every day but Thursday? What are the results then? Does that improve it or not? And it can give you those results very, very quickly. So you can get really in the weeds with how you want to optimize your strategies. Let's say you had a strategy that had a component of it that is an RSI value needs to be exactly 35, for whatever reason. And you see the results there, and you're like, okay, these results are good, but then you want to test, okay, what about if it was 34? What about if it was 36? What about if it was 26? You can test that very, very quickly, so you can get through the iterative process, much faster than what we had available before. Of course, this service will also come with trading strategy templates. We refer to it as the Quant library. It is a place on our Discord, a private place on our Discord, where I post a lot of my strategy templates. Other users post their own strategy templates as well, and you can essentially just take those templates. You can apply them if you want. However, what we suggest is to iterate on top of those, because obviously everyone really should be having their own unique strategy, because of course, the obvious issue is that if everyone's using the same damn thing, and let's just put this to extreme, like you got 1 million people using the exact same strategy with $1 billion in equity, is that going to scale on a 1 minute time frame? Probably not. Very unlikely not. Again, you get those near instantaneous automated backtesting results. You get a detailed statistical analysis of these trade strategies. We'll speak a little bit more about those details later. Again, the Quant library, as of right now, as of the recording of this video, which is on the 22nd day of October of the year 2024, there are over 150 strategies across all sorts of different time frames available there in that Quant library that you can literally just copy onto your TradingView, and then you can get to change in whatever inputs that you desire as well. And it also comes with several indicators as well, the Crown VMP indicators to be exact, as well as some of our own user-created indicators that are in the indicator library as well. The indicators that specifically come with this service, besides obviously the main proprietary, what we call the skeleton key, which allows you to kind of set up all this backtesting, are the Crown VMP, which is a volatility, momentum, and statistics-based indicator; the Crown Stochastic, which is a MTF, just multi-time frame stochastic indicator; the Fibonacci; and then the trend wave catalyst, which actually will allow you to kind of put what we refer to as just the trend wave, highs and lows into the script as well. In fact, you can really use any indicator that you have access to on TradingView. There is a caveat with that, however, that the outputs must be labeled. Typically, most indicators will have the outputs labeled, especially if they're in the public library. But in the event that they're not, you can usually add labels to them incredibly easily. I'm not a programmer myself, but from what I understand, it's a very simple thing. Maybe it takes a programmer like 5 to 10 minutes to do. Of course, here is an example of that the strategy library. And this is growing all the time. And not only can you just post strategies in there, you can also, talk to the people who made them. And what typically happens is I'll post something or someone will post something and then people kind of comment on it. And then someone will be like, hey, look what I found. I added this or I took away that. And here are the results on top of that. It's like, oh, damn, you can really get that sort of sense of 1 + 1 = 11 rather than 1 + 1 = 2. Which is really, really cool in my experience. We also have a team of in-house experts that can essentially guide you through, any issues that you might be, facing. These are like technical issues, obviously. Our team is very well equipped for that, and with these sort of things, there is a learning curve with them. Obviously, it will require a little bit of technical proficiency on your own behalf. Of course, we have tutorials in the Teachable School to walk you through that, and then again, this team as well. If you get stuck in a certain place, but don't be a derp, of course. But look, if you figured out how to get on the internet and get this far, it's probably fine. Here, I wanted to reference the detailed performance analytics. So not only do you get the overview that we spoke about earlier, but you also get all this data here as well, just spit out to you within typically moments. Not that long of a wait, and you can get all sorts of unique pieces of data. You can get obviously your net profit, but more importantly, your max drawdown, your max run up, your Sharpe and Sortino ratios, profit factor, your commissions paid if you actually want to put like your real commission levels. You can get what you expect to make on your average winning trade, what you expect to make on your average losing trade, what the largest winning trade was, what the largest losing trade was, what the average amount of bars in those trades versus winning versus losing trades was as well. And then even from there, you can export all this data into a Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, and you can make it even more interesting. In fact, we go over exactly how to do that in the program and derive even more detailed statistics for the purpose of potential optimization later on. Automation itself, I do reference just Alertatron here. Of course, you can use other services as well, like 3 Commas, Pine Connector, which will allow you to do it on MetaTrader 5. So you could do like TradFi or TardFi is what some people call it, which I think is very funny. But yeah, here is a list of exchanges. I try to put this in differentiating the centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges from one column to the next, but that didn't work too well. So my apologies there. But the ones on the left-hand side are the centralized exchanges. The one on the right-hand side are the decentralized exchanges. The main ones for Alertatron, Binance, BingX, BitMEX, Blowfin, Bybit, Coinbase Advanced, Crypto.com, Deribit, OKX, VMEX, Woo, Gate.io, most major exchanges are going to be there. And then, well, you can automate and just, again, become more of like a trade strategist, looking at the overall results and then manipulating the inputs rather than being a trader in the weeds. Of course, we have a shit ton of testimonials here as well. Maybe I could just briefly bring it up. But you can go through this on your own pace. It goes all the way down here, blah, 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 blah. Not blah, 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 because this is very, very important, but I don't want to bore you with the details on something that you can kind of read easily yourself. So let me get back into our nice, oh, whoops. That's right. I went to a completely different page. Now, of course, I always like to really be stringent on who this is for and who this is not for. And so I want to now speak directly to who this is not for. It's not for someone who doesn't have much trading experience. This is not a learning program. Yes, we have tutorials on how to set everything up. That is covered, but we're not going to teach you like, here's how to use the RSI or stochastic RSI. That's not going to be included. Or here's how you set up a strategy. We go over some examples. Yes, you can figure it out. But realistically, we want to be working with people who have at least a little bit of experience. It's just going to make this process a lot easier. So if you're a complete beginner, if you don't know how to long or short on an exchange, just hold off for at least a few years. It'll be okay. It's not going anywhere. The only thing that will happen with time is we'll just make this better. This program will, assume that you have a basic understanding of very basic technical analysis, at least at minimum. And then also, of course, I should mention that this is not going to be for someone who wants to, obviously, someone who wants to discretionarily trade, someone who wants to apply more nuance to things, because at the end of the day, these are algorithms. And so they will lack a little bit of nuance because certain situations just cannot be accounted for. But that is a trade-off with these sort of tools. When you're using an algorithm, you're able to trade more often. You're able to trade. I mean, the algorithm will trade for you at all hours of the day if you want it to, getting entries and exits that you might not have otherwise gotten because you're just asleep. But there are going to be instances where if you're a discretionary trader, you might have applied a little bit more nuance. Again, this is a preference thing. So if that's you, then this is not going to be for you. And then, of course, while we do have trade templates in the Quant library, I do not want to present this as a done-for-you signals service. It really is expected that you will optimize if you are going to use those strategy templates. Of course, you can create whatever the hell you want with it too. But you really should be optimizing it because, again, if you get too many people using the same thing, the edge will go down. So if you're looking for something like that, go elsewhere because you're probably just going to piss off the people in the Discord. The people in the Discord are like at a pretty high level, and so they don't really take kindly to like someone who's just that kind of like value taker person who's like, hey, can you tell me what to do? Just give me the strategy. They're not going. They're probably going to troll you, honestly. But yeah, you can use the templates as inspiration, iterate off of them. Even if you just change one little thing, it is now something different, which is going to be unique to you. And you naturally will, especially if you do have more experience, you're probably going to take some of these things and just run with it, which is exactly how it's intended to be. So that is it as I get to the end of this. And I think we'll end things right there. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.